Good evening from the future and from the bedroom studio you're about to see me build. This is a video about the spaces we choose to make music in. This is a video about home studios. This is a video about recording music in your space. This is a video about the tweaks you can make to work faster, have more fun doing it. Doing social media as an artist is a pain in the ass, but there are far easier ways to do it. This is an experiment. This is me trying away. I'm Will. This is my project, Buying Fireworks in Indiana. I made this video because I think a lot of people could benefit from reducing the friction in their space. I think a lot of people could benefit from making a few minor tweaks. And I think it's cool to hang out with people in the studio. So I figured I'd invite you into my studio to hang out with me. This is a video about my project and all the ideas that I have and all the ways I think that changing up this room will help me make them real. One note going in, a lot of the footage that I shot as I was renovating the space, I shot on my Canon ZR200. It's a little handy cam. What you're about to see is it actively dying in real time and chewing up tapes. I was able to salvage the tape, and I think the result is pretty cool. And I was also able to salvage the camera. It has a cool home in my new live streaming setup, but it's a little wonky. Honestly, it's like a filter that I think you can pay for. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I should have done it on purpose. Anyway, it's a vibe. I appreciate you being here. This is not a technical tutorial of any kind. This is indie electronic, Vibe Central. This is Buying Fireworks in Indiana, and this is a cut to the past. It's been about 6 weeks since I started rolling out music under this new project, Buying Fireworks in Indiana. And in those first 6 weeks, a lot of cool stuff has happened. Like a lot of people listening to the music, tuning into our mixing live stream, a lot of exciting stuff. But something that's like less exciting is the room that I do all of this in has fallen into complete and total chaos. This is typical of me. I can be a bit distractible. I don't know, when you put all this stuff in front of me, I can't help but play with it. And there's like stuff all over the place in here. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to transform this room into a studio. It sort of already is. What is a recording studio? What makes a room a recording studio? I've made a bunch of music in here. I've been calling the studio the Goat's Nest. I'm a big fan of the author Nelson Algren, and he was a Chicago guy. He actually wrote in Ukrainian Village, which is the neighborhood I currently live in. He wrote in a small bedroom in Ukrainian Village, and he did so under the guise of like calling it the Goat's Nest. Also, for all you like Hemingway heads out there, that's not it. Like, sidebar, try Algren if you hadn't, because he is cooler. Personally, I feel his language is just as powerful. His stories are, honestly, to me, much more vivid, and I think he is a bit more honest about what it's like to be a human on planet Earth than Hemingway ever was even capable of being. But that's not why you're here. You're here because we're going to turn this tiny Chicago bedroom into a recording studio where we're going to continue making indie breakbeat music and featuring vocalists and live streaming sessions and live streaming conversations. I want to make this a room for that. I want to make this room feel good. I want to make it frictionless. That's a big thing. I want to be able to like sit down, tune into a live stream, reach people, make music, and just not have it be this whole like headache. It's a small room, but I see no reason why it can't do every single thing I need it to. And I see no reason why it can't look very cool while accomplishing all that. So instead of finishing it all and being like, hey, I'm Bi-Fi, look, this is the room it all started in. It looks like a place where you would stream and make YouTube content already. Just coincidentally, that's how my room happened to look. This is my normal-ass, human-ass bedroom studio. And I'm going to make it look cooler. I'm going to make it look more like a studio. I'm going to make it look like more colorful and more interesting on screen. I want to make more music. I want to be spending more of my time creatively. I want to be spending less of my time on bullshit. And frictionlessness is the way that's going to work for me. I think there's a lot of people that might want to accomplish that too. So let's film the whole process. Come along for the ride. We're turning this bedroom into the goat's nest by 2025. We are out here. So this is a thing too. I've never thought about like studio lighting in terms of anything other than vibe, right? So always trying to create a cool vibe in the studio. You want it to feel good. You want it to be like relaxing and creative and just like vibey. Obviously you want the studio to be vibey. Come on. But I'm trying to make videos here too. And I got this big old window. And like, as you can see, like the shot that I had mounted earlier, it's just totally different. Like the lighting is totally different and it's all good. It's beautiful, right? It's all different. Like, where do I put stuff with this big old window here? Also, I work at night a lot, so it probably doesn't fucking matter. Shout out Philly crying in H-Mart. Shout out Philly, baby. Like, this is the chaos. When I'm working on Wi-Fi, I'm just looking at this. I love it. It's my space and I'm grateful to be in it. But that doesn't mean that it can't get cleaner. It doesn't mean it can't be a better studio, a more functional space. And now that I'm filming this, I'm realizing I have the creakiest chair. Yo, let me hit the chair in the drawer though. I forgot I got this crazy steel case chair. Woo! Sheesh! I want people to be able to feel like they're along for this because this project doesn't work without that aspect, you know? I've been in a lot of bands over the years. I've toured all around the world and like done all kinds of incredible stuff like out there. And I'm still gonna do all that. But I wanna do cool stuff in here too. I've just been thinking a lot about like how is the best way to showcase that? What's the best way to bring people in? So I think it's gonna be live streaming. I think that's the ticket. I really think that's the ticket. I hadn't considered live streaming much until last week. Brock Mende from Friends of Friends recording and I live streamed the mixing of Feelings in the Paint, the next single that's coming out next month. And I was just blown away by the number of people that tuned in. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was like people were in there, they were in the chat, they were watching, they were seemingly enjoying it. That's like what it's all about. I don't know if it generated streams, but like, you know, those people were like focusing on creativity. They were like watching us do actual work on music. So much of being an artist like these days is figuring out, okay, how can I like engage people via social media? And what was so cool about the live stream, Brock and I weren't thinking about social media. We weren't worried about our reach. We weren't worried about insights. We weren't worried about getting likes or followers or anything like that. We were mixing the song. We were able to fully focus on that while simultaneously building on social media. It was just happening. Like YouTube was just like growing in the background while we're there mixing the song on the screen. Blew my mind. I don't know if I'm just like an old dinosaur, but like I didn't realize that streaming was like sick. So we're changing up everything and we're just gonna dig in and we're gonna turn this into a production space / streaming studio, I guess. The Ghost Nest, Ukrainian Village, Chicago, Illinois. We're gonna tell stories while we make these songs. We're gonna hang out with so many of my like super cool, talented friends who are just brilliant artists. And yeah, my plan had been to just like film it while we do it and make cool like follow-up docs. I still want to make that documentary style stuff, but it just seems so obvious that I need to be live streaming. And it seems so fun. It seems like an exciting area of the internet. Like, just do me a favor, think about the internet right now, the internet at large. Like, think about the internet, right? Now, like, I'm telling you that there's a space on that internet where people are tuning in just to, like, learn about making music or see some music get made or just, like, vibe and engage with something creative happening on their screen, regardless of what it is. It's, like, more positive than 80%, 90%, 95%, 99% of the stuff going on the internet right now. Is it saving the world? Like, technically not, but I do think that Idols said it best, joy is an act of rebellion, but like you get it, you get it, you're here, it's 2025. So let's turn this room into a live stream space, asking questions and answering questions and thinking about other artists and thinking about music, thinking about books, all the cool shit that we get to engage in on this short lap we get to take around this earth. That's what I'm trying to do, just a little simple thing, just trying to make y'all focus on that. You see, that's the thing, I'm getting to this point in the video and I'm like, do y'all really want to watch me clean this room? I don't think so. I don't want to watch me clean this room. We'll check in, we'll do some little pop-ins. Maybe I'll set up a little time-lapse situation. making videos on the internet. It's 2025. Videos on the internet.
Louis is positively toasted from helping me clean the place, so let's take a break and talk about some art. I've got 2 prints by one of my favorite visual artists, Eric Kenny. I think I'm going to leave the big one up there and find a new home for the small one. I also need to find a place for my framed copy of Original Pirate Material by The Streets. Everyone should have a framed copy of their favorite album.
Also, shout out to the random Virgin Megastore employee who was working at the the London location in fall of 2001. My mom and I went on like a Air Miles kind of like speed weekend London vacation, but I remember I was already obsessed like with music. I was maybe 10 years old, I think, and I really wanted to go to the Virgin Megastore because I wanted to buy a CD. I was like a bold little kid. I remember I just went up to an employee and was like, "Hey, what CD should I buy? I'm from the United States and like I love music and I think this store is very cool. What CD should I buy?" With my allowance turned quid. He was like, "You got to get this one." It was Original Pirate Material by The Streets. He sold me the full-on parental advisory version. Super funny album to sell to a 10-year-old from Columbus, Ohio. It took me like 15 years to learn all the slang and to figure out like what was even happening on that album. But I wish more people could hear that album like as a impressionable 10-year-old, because that album accesses something. That record changed my life. It's like without Original Pirate Material and Imogen Heap, Speak for Yourself, like I'm not making electronic music. Without those records, I'm guitar boy only. I taped that wall off. Taped the wall, spackled the wall. Super late, and I was listening to Salem's Lot the whole time on audiobook while I did it. It's nighttime in Chicago, and I'm freaked out about vampires. Alright, so we're back. It's the next day. There's the wall. Sheesh. I'm about to paint that wall, and it feels like an obvious moment to do a time-lapse shot.
Before I started buying fireworks in Indiana, I never really had a reason to consider the ways the colors around me impact the color of my skin tone. Then I started filming myself all the time, and I realized you can make your life a lot easier by picking colors that play nice with the undertones of your skin. This green plays nice with my Scottish Canadian ass.
Been a long day of painting, but look at that green wall. So sick. 5 coats on there. Don't do anything halfway. 5 coats on there, baby. Green wall. Now that I've finished painting this beautiful green wall, I'm going to put some art on it, and it's going to be cool. But I also wanted to take a second to talk about studio desk builds and like what I think is the easiest and most sustainable way to build yourself a studio desk or like a DIY desk or just a normal desk without creating waste or the need for new things to be made and getting a super functional thing very affordably. Here's how you do it. IKEA stuff is on Facebook Marketplace, especially if you're near a college graduation. If you live anywhere near a city, I guarantee there's IKEA stuff for extremely cheap. IKEA stuff like this is basically like playing with Legos. 2 IKEA Alex's as my base. For these 2 sets of IKEA Alex drawers, I paid less than the cost of one of them new, and they were already assembled. One of them I bought out of actual IKEA, out of like the back sort of area where they have the returns. And excuse me, we're vlogging. Thank you. I bought. I feel like Facebook Marketplace is still slept on. I would say in the initial design of this little studio, and then in this rehab, I would say I've probably paid like 30 or 40% the total cost of what I would have paid new, and it's involved like a couple quick coats of paint, or like, you know, my desktop was a return to the IKEA store, and I've used it as like a workbench, and I've used it for all kinds of stuff, so it's pretty beat, but it's cool. Yeah, I picked up this new monitor last night too, here in Chicago, on Facebook Marketplace. It's made of plastic, and I'm sure all kinds of shady shit that doesn't need to keep getting mined or melted or whatever the fuck. We don't need more computer monitors on this earth. There's enough computer monitors. Look online, see if there's like a used computer monitor that's in perfect condition, that's exactly what you need, that's a little bit cheaper. The world's on fire. I don't need to tell you this, but like, do not buy a new ass IKEA thing for your studio setup. Spend that money on gear, fam.
Lighting my shots has been a huge point of friction since day one, and I just need a plug-and-play setup that looks cool quickly. So I'm going to try building an overhead softbox that'll work with the recessed light I already have in the room and add a bit of vibe. This was a super simple build. It's just a square made out of 2x4s, upholstered with light diffusion fabric, lined with foil, and an LED strip on the inside. I'll spare you the specifics, but if you're interested in the specifics, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to make a tutorial. Also, shout out to DJ Lex, who did a crazy set on noise complaints. Shout out to Noise Complaints for having a crazy overhead softbox. Thank you for the inspiration.
Yo, I just wanted to show you real quick in the dark. I'm real sick of working on this, but bro. Are you kidding me? So sick. Sick. I haven't hooked up the Bluetooth yet, so we haven't even played with cool colors, but damn. Alright, that's gonna work. My friends, it's time for the big reveal. The new stew. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Ghost Nest. To be honest with you, this was absolutely one of the most satisfying projects I've ever done. It was relatively easy, but the impact was huge and instantaneous. I was able to reduce a lot of friction. I was able to plug in this quirky collection of gear I've amassed over the years to make buying fireworks in Indiana what it is. I was able to plug it all in. It's all plugged in all at once, so I can use it whenever I need it. I made a room that looks cool, that has vibey lighting, takes advantage of the natural lighting, takes advantage of the lighting that's already here, and allows me to just set up a camera and make music. If you'd like a more technical spin on any of this, I'd be happy to make that. Just hit the comments, but that is specifically not what this video is about. I think you should find a way to plug in all of your tools all at once. I think you should reduce some friction in your space. It might be just a couple tiny tweaks that totally open things up.
Really, the thing I'm like disproportionately psyched about is this lighting thing up here. Probably need some more diffusion fabric in there because I'm not really feeling like the LED lights poking through, you know, and I'm still figuring out how to like deal with all that on camera. But what I am very psyched about is like what it also does to the overhead light that's just in the ceiling. Check it out. Not bad, right? It's way better than it was, way more manageable. And yeah, it's like, that's the thing, is I'm just trying to reduce friction here. I'm just trying to spend less time editing these videos and want it to be a vibe in here. I want the light to just be like good, like fine at all times. You know, that's the goal. I want to be able to just throw up a camera, like not think about that aspect of it, and just immediately start making music. after 2 months of having Wi-Fi out in the world, like the amount I want to do, the number of ideas that I have, I need to cut down the friction, right? The social media stuff has to be like less burdensome. It like there's got to be a way to do it. I really think like there is a way to do it, and I think this is it.